Silk production involves cultivation of mulberry trees and rearing of silkworms. Mulberry is a small tree whose leaves are used for feeding silkworms. In order to obtain silk, mulberry trees are cultivated, silkworms are reared, and their cocoons collected to get silk fibers. We will now describe the rearing of silkworms, processing of cocoons to obtain silk fibers, and making of silk fabrics from silk fibers. A female silk moth lays hundreds to thousands of eggs at a time. The eggs of silk moths are stored carefully on a paper strips and sold to silkworm farmers. The farmers keep these eggs at suitable temperature and humidity under hygienic conditions. The eggs are then warmed to a suitable temperature for hatching. When the eggs hatch, the silkworms come out of eggs. The silkworms are fed up cut mulberry leaves, and these silkworms eat day and night and grow big in size. After about 25 to 30 days, the silkworms stop eating and get ready to spin cocoons. The silkworms climb the twigs placed near them and spin cocoons of silk fibers. The silkworms enclose themselves completely inside the silken cocoons in 2 or 3 days. Next, processing of cocoons to obtain silk fibers. All the cocoons are collected at one place. The pile of cocoons is used for obtaining silk fibers. This pile of cocoons is placed in hot water. The hot water makes the silk fibers of cocoons to separate out. The long silk fibers are obtained by unwinding the threads from cocoons. The process of taking out silk fibers from the cocoons for use as silk is called reeling. Reeling is done in special machines which unwind the fibers of silk from cocoons. Obtained from cocoons are spun to form silk threads called silk yarn, that is spinning. The silk yarn is then woven on looms into silk cloth by the weavers, that is weaving. Processing of silk includes the collection of cocoons. Then these cocoons are kept under the sun or boiled or kept under steam. Then silk fibers separate out from cocoon. Next, reeling of silk, that is process in which the cocoon's threads are taken out from cocoons to use as silk. Then silk fibers spun into threads, that is spinning, and these threads woven into silk fabrics, that is weaving. Is it clear? Dear children, find out from your mother or your aunt or grandmother the kind of silk sarees they have. Do you know the different varieties of silk? There is a variety of silk moth which look very different from one another. The silk produced by the silkworms of different varieties of silk moths is different in texture. That means in appearance. Sometimes it may be coarse, smooth or shiny. Some of the varieties of silk are mulberry silk, tussar silk, moonga silk, kosa silk and eri silk. These silks are obtained from cocoons spun by the silkworms of different types of silk moths. The most common silk moth is the mulberry silk moth. The silk obtained from the cocoons of mulberry silk moth is called a mulberry silk. Mulberry silk is soft, lustrous, that means shiny and elastic. And it can be dyed in beautiful colors. Thus, the most common variety of silk is mulberry silk. Next, an activity to distinguish between natural silk and artificial silk. Natural silk is obtained from the cocoons of silkworm is made of a protein. Artificial silk is obtained from wood pulp and it is made of modified plant material cellulose. We can distinguish between natural silk and artificial silk by performing the burning test. Take a piece of natural silk fabric and another piece of artificial silk fabric. Burn them separately and observe the smell produced. The fabric which burns, giving a smell of burning hair, will be natural silk. And the fabric which burns, giving a smell of burning paper, will be artificial silk. Artificial silk, that is rayon. Just like silk, wool is also made of proteins. So a piece of wool also burns, giving the smell of burning hair.